Published in 1949, 1984 was not meant to predict the future. It was meant to prevent it. George Orwell wrote 1984 in the aftermath of World War II, at a time when totalitarian regimes had demonstrated just how far governments could go in controlling truth, language, and human thought itself. The novel presents a world where surveillance is constant, history is rewritten daily, and even private thoughts are crimes. More than 70 years later, 1984 remains one of the most referenced and misunderstood books in modern culture. Terms like Big Brother, Doublethink, and thought crime have entered everyday language. But 1984 is not just about authoritarian governments. It is about power, fear, compliance, and what happens when truth becomes whatever those in control say it is. George Orwell, born Eric Arthur Blair, was deeply shaped by his experiences with imperialism, poverty, propaganda, and war. He fought in the Spanish Civil War, where he witnessed firsthand how political factions manipulated truth and erased inconvenient facts. These experiences convinced Orwell that totalitarianism was not only about brute force, it was about controlling reality itself. 1984 reflects Orwell's fear that modern technology, combined with political ideology, could create systems of control far more effective than anything in the past. The novel is set in Oceania, one of 3 perpetual superstates constantly at war. The world is ruled by the party, led by the omnipresent figure known as Big Brother. Citizens live under constant surveillance, food shortages and rationing, state-controlled media, and a permanent atmosphere of fear. Every home contains a telescreen, which both broadcasts propaganda and monitors behavior. There is no escape. Privacy no longer exists. The party's most important rule is simple: the party is always right. The story follows Winston Smith, a low-ranking party member who works at the Ministry of Truth, a place where history is systematically falsified. Winston's job is to rewrite newspapers so the party always appears correct, no matter how often its policies change. If the party claims it has always been at war with East Asia, then all records must reflect that. Winston secretly despises the party and commits the most dangerous crime of all: independent thought. He begins writing in a diary, an illegal act, and wonders whether rebellion is still possible in a world where truth itself has been destroyed. The party's power does not come from violence alone. It comes from control over truth, language, and memory. Citizens are trained to hold 2 contradictory beliefs at the same time, and accept both as true. This is doublethink. Language is deliberately reduced so that rebellious thoughts become impossible to express, or even conceive. This is Newspeak. If you cannot say freedom, can you still imagine it? War is peace. Freedom is slavery. Ignorance is strength. These are not slogans meant to be understood logically. They are meant to be accepted without question. Winston begins a secret relationship with Julia, a young woman who appears loyal to the party but secretly rebels through personal pleasure and defiance. Their relationship represents one of the novel's central ideas: human connection is dangerous to totalitarian power. By loving each other, Winston and Julia reclaim individuality, memory, and emotional truth, things the party seeks to destroy. But their rebellion is fragile, hidden, and ultimately doomed. Winston believes he has found an ally in O'Brien, a powerful party member who seems to share his doubts. This is the most devastating deception in the novel. O'Brien does not represent resistance. He represents the party's final weapon, psychological domination. Winston and Julia are arrested. Their secret room was never hidden. They were being watched all along. In the Ministry of Love, Winston is tortured, not just physically, but intellectually. O'Brien teaches Winston the party's ultimate truth: reality exists only in the mind, and the party controls the mind. In Room 101, Winston is confronted with his worst fear. Faced with unbearable terror, he betrays Julia. This moment is crucial. The party does not just demand obedience. It demands betrayal of the self. After his release, Winston is empty. He no longer resists. He no longer loves Julia. The final line of the novel is devastating. He loved Big Brother. The party has won completely, not by killing Winston, but by changing what he is. 1984 is not about one government, one ideology, or one country. It is a warning about the erosion of truth, the weaponization of fear, the danger of passive compliance, and the loss of language and memory. Orwell's message is clear. Freedom begins with the ability to say that 2 + 2 makes 4. Once that is gone, everything else follows.
Thanks for watching Toodles Tailies. If you enjoyed this story, please like, subscribe, and ring the notification bell for more adventures into history, movies, and television. Click on the screen to watch another tale, and let us know in the comments what stories you want to see next.